This video is all about how Agile Project Management aligns to PRINCE2. What I want to cover is the comparison with the products and the processes that we have in PRINCE2 with those that we have in Agile. Let's start off with the simple stuff. There are a lot of similarities and they align very closely together. As far as PRINCE2 is concerned, we have some early processes about starting up and initiating a project. With Agile, we have something very similar. We have pre-project and we have feasibility and the foundations. So we start to build on what we know about the project and how we're going to manage it. We don't necessarily have something called the project initiation document in Agile, but we do have something called the business foundations document, the management foundations document, and then the sort of solutions foundation. So I think that covers how is this project going to work and what's it actually going to deliver for me. So there's lots of similarities there. Just like Agile, and PRINCE2 has 7 processes in its life cycle. Agile calls them phases. We've had a look at those: the feasibility phase, the pre-project phase, the foundations phase, so those 3. And then the remaining 4, in Agile we talk about exploration and engineering. That's really the engine room of where we get products created. So very similarly in PRINCE2 we have controlling a stage and managing product delivery. So they align very closely, very well. As we come to the end of each stage of PRINCE2, we have a process called managing stage boundaries, where we start to get into an evaluation with senior management on what's taken place so far and whether or not the project's delivering value, should it be allowed to continue. I suppose the equivalent, although it is very different in Agile, is that there isn't that big sort of stake in the ground, let's have a big review. Instead, the process that Agile has, it calls it a phase, is deployment. The idea that we go with an engine room of exploration and engineering leads to deployment. And then we go again, the next stage, if you like, exploration and engineering, and then deployment. So we don't do this managing stage boundaries, we actually just get out there and say, this is what we've created so far, use it, tell us what you think of it. And of course, you can probably work out the obvious. At the end of the project, they both have a sort of closing the project, post-project kind of stage or phase. So there's an awful lot of alignment, I think, between PRINCE2 and Agile. They're not in competition, they are very complementary. As somebody who's been using PRINCE2 for so many years and has come to Agile only in the last couple of years, the differences that I see as far as the sort of the processes and how I organise the work is that what I really value from PRINCE2 is how it makes me think about my approach to the project and how I plan to engage with my stakeholders and how I plan to control the work. I think that I always see PRINCE2 as it does a lot of management planning for me, and it gives me a lot of information that enables me to reassure stakeholders who are on the periphery, sometimes the auditors, those who are assuring the project, of exactly how the project is going to run. My experience with Agile is that we tend to be a little lighter on that side, and we tend to dive into much more, what are the requirements, what are the priorities around those requirements, let's get in and get some work done. So I see Agile much more on the engine room of creating things, deploying them, trying them out. So very much getting things to market much quicker. But I do think they're very complementary, and I think there's a very, very strong overlap between them. I think one of the problems that we've had with PRINCE2 is that some people have understood it to be a very bureaucratic process, because it does force us to sort of document a lot of things. And there is a perception, I think, that Agile Project Management means no documentation at all, and that isn't the case. But I will say that the other day I was looking at a PRINCE2 model where I counted about 40 different sort of documents. And I know I have had clients say that PRINCE2 makes them sometimes feel a bit like death by documentation. There are 17 sort of document types in Agile, and that's about keeping control. Well, I don't think we can run any kind of project without writing some things down and having some records, but certainly there is a lighter touch with Agile. So I think as far as the product's concerned, a lot less. I think the process, the life cycle, if you like, very, very similar in Agile. I hope this has sort of whetted your appetite to go and compare PRINCE2 and Agile Project Management. But certainly, in my opinion, the world is changing, and those of us in project management today need to know both the waterfall methods, things like PRINCE2, the planning up front, and the more evolving methods such as Agile.